Greetings, 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 royal family. Welcome back to the channel. Marriage Boot Camp, episode 5. This one was a doozy, wasn't it? It was the talk of all social media before the episode even aired. It was all types of talk going on about the scene with Tahiri and Vado. Well, I'm going to give my review. I'm going to give my thoughts. And that's going to be that on that. So, we're day 5 in the house. So, in the beginning, we find out that Hazel E is pregnant. People get pregnant every day, B. Anyway, the drill for the day, the first drill of the day, is the couples. They're locked in their rooms and they have to figure out how to get out of their room. So, it's like an escape room type of drill, right? Dr. Ish, he watches all the couples, from behind the scenes in his secret location to see how they communicate. That is the objective of this drill. So Phaedra, she doesn't want to, wear a blindfold, honey, because she's not trying to mess up her little lashes, her little lady lashes. She has no interest in the game whatsoever. She just made being like defiant so funny. You know what I mean? She was very polite about it. She's like, oh, no, child. I don't want to mess up these lashes. So Medina was left to kind of figure things out for himself. So we move on to see Tony and Corrupt. Yes, they were arguing at first and they're yelling at each other. They eventually got it together. So Vado and Tahiri, same thing. They're yelling at each other. So again, it's like an escape room. One person is blindfolded and the other has to communicate to get the blindfolded person to complete the task, right? So again, this is a drill centered around communication. Dr. Ish wants to spy on the couples, as he likes to do. He's a voyeur, a bit of a voyeur, huh? And he wants to see how they communicate. So Willie and Shonda, they're actually doing the best, in my opinion. They're doing well. So one of the cards that they found while they were doing this challenge or this drill during a game, it asked, how many women has Willie cheated with? Now I said to myself, why would they make that a part of this escape challenge? And then the answer, Willie answered it, 12 women. He cheated with 12 different women while he and Shonda were married. And Shonda didn't know that, but they continue to play the game. They sat down for a minute and then Shonda just reopening old wounds. That's all they talk about with these two. But anyway, they ended up continuing on to play and they were good sports about it and they actually escaped from their room first. So when they escaped from the room, they went to the living room where there were TVs. So Shonda and Willie got to see the other couples trying to escape from their room. Vado and Tahiri, I think they were second. Corrupt and Tony got out next. And Phaedra and Medina, they escaped last. Now, Phaedra, she took a nap in the middle of the drill. I really am entertained by her, man. She is hilarious. And it's just a little bit of dry humor, a little bit of, ooh, child, this Southern Belle character. Phaedra is hilarious. And she's very polite. So she's not even problematic on the show. But anyway, she took a nap and Medina had to figure it out. And then eventually they got out, 1-2, 1-2. She figured it out. So Willie ends up returning back to his room because he's upset about the question that was on one of those cards, how many women he slept with. And he's just tired of all this cheating talk. So Dr. Ish goes and talks to Willie and says that the reason that he and Shonda haven't moved past the cheating is because Shonda doesn't know why it happened. See, I see you, Dr. Ish, trying to be profound, but you're just straight messy, milk dud. Anyway, then Dr. Ish asked Willie what was missing at home. And I said, see, here we go. Dr. Ish, I want to like you. I really do, Baldy. I want to like you, but flag on the play. Here I go. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about cheating, right, is that people think that their spouses cheat because something is, quote, missing at home. Like, we've bought into that, right? Like, anytime you hear someone's cheating, well, they were lacking this at home. Maybe if you were taking care of your man at home, he wouldn't be out at the club looking for, we bought into that. And I feel like people cheat because there's a lack of self-control. And also there's no fear of losing your partner or your family. People do it because they want to, and it is a lack of discipline and self-control. I don't buy into that. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I don't buy into that it's because something is lacking at home or because he or she is unhappy at home. When you're in a relationship, especially a marriage, right? That's serious business. Who in the HE double hockey sticks told you that when you are married, you are going to like each other all the time? You're not. You're not going to like each other all the time. But again, this is where self-control and discipline and respect for yourself, your partner, and the union that the two of you share comes into play. And I find that a lot of people now, because we've bought into this idea, these are just my opinions, because we are conditioned to believe that people cheat because something is, quote, lacking at home, that is the excuse that the cheater will always give, right? Oh, we always argue, and my spouse doesn't like to do this at home. You see, it's like that's the excuse now. Anyway, Willie has been cheating before he and Shonda got married. Okay, so those of you who've been watching the show, even when they were on Love and Hip Hop, Shonda makes it a point to mention that, like, they're married and they've been for several years. So he's been cheating since before they got married, which means while they were dating, he was cheating. Like, there's no incentive to have self-control. In other words, he'll get away with it. Boom, she'll stay. I cheated before we got married. We got married. We still married. I'm still cheating. She's still here. I don't know. Should I go there? I feel an Iyanla moment coming on. Y'all better make sure y'all liking this video. I enjoy doing these reviews, and I love each and every one of you for watching. All right. Another thing, right? I feel like people, like, okay, Shonda, right? Why does she stay? Why does she stay? I feel like people stay with their partners and say, oh, I love him or I love her, when in fact, people sometimes stay because they're codependent, not because it's love per se. It's convenient, it's comfortable, it's routine. And a lot of people are afraid to be alone, especially when you've invested that much time. Sometimes we fall into the thought process of, I've been with this person for like 5 years. We got to make this work. People have ups and downs. Yeah, people have ups and downs, but blatant disrespect and disregard for your children and your union, that's not supposed to be. But hey, everybody runs their relationship how they want. I'm just making some Iyanla observations, okay? So, I don't know. Like I said, that excuse about I wasn't getting this or that at home, as an excuse for cheating, it's just stupid. It's a lie. So, I do want to ask this question. Riddle me this. When people who cheat say I wasn't getting this or that at home, right? Once you cheat, will that thing that you're not getting at home suddenly appear? No, right? So then you're cheating because you want to, and possibly because you can get away with it. All you got to do is say, baby, please, I'm sorry, and cry. And, oh, well, we have kids together. And we need to do better. Like, we really need to do better, y'all. Anyway, like I said, it's a lack of discipline, commitment, and self-control. So if you're lacking so much at home, I gotta stay on this because that's all they talk about. I'm sorry if I'm like long and drawn out, and plus I took some notes, so I have to follow my notes. Anyway, if Willie is lacking so much at home, why are you staying? You know what I mean? If you ain't getting nothing out of it, what's the purpose? What purpose is it serving you to stay, aside from the fact, oh, we got kids together? Okay, y'all still gonna have kids together if you ain't together, right? Anyway, Shauna, she enters the room and she's sitting there talking, and the two of them are crying, and she had a seat, and Dr. Ish is addressing both of them. And a wise man told me many years ago, y'all, marriage is for grown-ups. And I wholeheartedly believe that. Like, they both knew that they were not ready to be married, but Shonda nor Willie, they neither one of them wanted to let go. They got married. He said he went on the road with Day 26 when he was a part of Bad Boy singing group Day 26 boy band, and that was a disaster. That's free reign for him to just do what he wished. But again, if he had self-control and discipline, which he didn't even have prior to them getting married, he could have avoided this. Anywho, let's move it along. Thank you for listening to my Iyanla moment. The next drill, I don't understand Dr. Ish worth a damn. I don't. The next drill is the couples, right? They're given remote control bracelets, right? So they basically will be able to shock one another if their spouse does something that they aren't supposed to do. Sounds fun, right? So there's a list of things that each couple cannot do to the other, or else they'll be shocked. They'll be zapped with this remote. The other partner has the remote to the bracelet. You guys know what I mean. You saw the episode. So the couples don't know what's on their spouse's list. So this is supposed to create excitement. So I said, let the effery begin. This is another stupid drill, in my opinion. And I feel like this show has really gone downhill. That rhyme, by the way. And I used to watch this show when it first started, when there was there was a therapist and what was the white guy? It was a white guy and a white lady. Anyway, this show has really, really gone downhill. It wasn't that great before, but it wasn't this bad. Anyway, Tony points out that Corrupt is on his best behavior. They're all in the kitchen cooking dinner, and everyone is, it's a group effort. They're getting dinner ready, and Corrupt is on his best behavior, Tony says, because he doesn't want to get zapped. Now, Tahiri and Vado, on the other hand, not so much. So everyone's outside eating dinner, and Tahiri and Vado, they seem to be having a conversation about their relationship. So they're sitting, away from the group. So Tahiri, she zaps Vado because he snapped back before listening to her. These are one of the things that were on Tahiri's list. But Vado was talking, and Tahiri interrupted and wanted him to stop talking to listen to her. He wasn't finished with his point. Whatever. So now Vado, he's annoyed and says, look, I could have shocked you because you were yelling, which is one of the things that is on Vado's list. Whenever Tahiri yells, he would zap her, but he didn't. He said, I could have zapped you a long time ago. The yelling is out. Well, Vado, I think you should have zapped her. That's part of the drill. You're not participating 100% in the drill. If Tahiri was yelling, you should have pressed the button, dog. Then Tahiri zaps him again. The second zap, I didn't get. He didn't snap at her. So see, this entire drill, I think, was foolish because you're putting this control in the hands of people who, some of them are immature. Case in point, Tahiri and Vado, mostly Tahiri. Tahiri starts yelling. Then tells Vado, do not zap me. She's yelling, and Vado told her, he slipped up and told her, don't yell. He kind of let her know that yelling was on the list because they're not supposed to tell each other what's on each other's lists. So she said, don't zap me, don't buzz me. But you're yelling. And you're not supposed to be doing that. And then you're going to tell him not to hit the buzzer on you. And he did. So now Tahiri's mad. This is like childish as hell to me, I think. But whatever. Tahiri says Vado zapped her out of spite. No, sis, he zapped you because you were yelling at him. Like, hello, is anybody home? Is anybody home? Harlem Tahiri, do you hear me? Bars. So she gets up and she walks away from the table where her and Vado were seated. So again, she's hot. She's mad. She cusses and she walks off. Vado is trying to get her to come back to the table. Vado zaps her. Why? Because she's not listening. That's on the list. Vado zaps Tahiri again because she refuses to return to the table so that they can talk. So Vado is just sitting there by himself. So she's not listening. He asked her twice, come back to the table. So Tahiri, she rolls her eyes. Zap, that's on the list, believe it or not. So she takes off her bracelet. So Vado, he's yelling, he's cussing. Tahiri, she then walks up on Vado, gets in his face, pushes a chair. Then she walks off all with her shoulders all up. Brolic, real Harlem, Tahiri like. So she did all of that, right? This is what I noticed. She did all of that when he was polite, and when he was politely asking her to come back to the table so that they could talk, she didn't. But she came back to the table to try to get in his face and like kind of push the table like, show I'm tough, right? How childish is that? Why didn't you just come back to the table when he was trying to talk to you? But to try to fight, you came back to the table. Just making some observations. So they yell some more. She calls him whack. She says, you can't even follow instructions. She has the bracelet off, so I don't get why they're still even arguing, but whatever. And at this point, I said to myself, why didn't Dr. Ish and his milk dud head pop out and tell her to put her bracelet back on? See, you're not following the rules, Tahiri. A part of the drill is that everyone is to wear the bracelet, and everyone would get zapped if they did something that was on the list that they should not be doing. So why is it Tahiri gets to take off her bracelet? Tahiri keeps on going. She tells Vado, real knuck if you buck like. Her shoulders were bebopping and neck was rolling and two-stepping. She said, time is money and you don't pay the bills. She said, what am I doing here? I'm wasting my time. Just yelling and getting buck. Real aggressive. And everyone is just watching her. Even Willie pointed out, like, come on, Tahiri in his confessional. You got to quiet that down. Like, basically, like, just be quiet. You're doing too much. So they're all back in the house. Dinner is done. And Tahiri's just still got her bracelet off, y'all. Not completing the drill. So we see Tony and Davon. They're trying to tell Vado, not to react to Tahiri. They're outside. They're talking. And they're like, just don't react to her at all. I know it's easier said than done, but I agree with them. And, people get mad when you totally ignore them, especially when they're trying to get your attention and you just like ice them out and don't pay them any attention. They really, really get mad. But anyway, the couples, they're in the kitchen and Tahiri and Vado, they're still kind of going at it. And Tahiri feels that she did nothing wrong. This is what she said. Vado is trying to tell her that she will find out what is on the list. He said, you're going to find out. You're going to see. You're going to see. She picks up 2 apples, green. She picks up 2 apples and she is talking. She's standing right next to Vado and she's talking. She has like a little smirk on her face because she's got everybody's attention in the kitchen. So it's the Tahiri show now. And she says, what I'm about to do now should be on the list or is a part of the list or something like that. She hits Vado with apple number 1 in his face and then follows up with apple number 2. Okay. Now she was standing right next to him. One on the side of one on the side of his face and the other upside his head in front of everybody in the kitchen. And then she walks out of the kitchen. She thinks it's funny. And yeah, let me get Miss Tahiri together real quick. And I'm just going to give you a disclaimer. If this triggers you, then my intention is not to do so. I am, though, however, going to share my thoughts. There, disclaimer done. Yeah, let me get Tahiri together real quick. Tahiri's a straight up bully. I don't care what anybody says. I know what transpired. I see what's going on social media. I see the comments on both sides, the comments from the public. Tahiri is a bully. Can't deny that. We've seen that. And I know that they edit things, but I'm only critiquing what was shown. All right, enough of the explanation. Tahiri's a bully, point blank, period. We see it on this show. We saw it on Love and Hip Hop. What she did was assault, point blank, period. Since everyone likes to throw around, legal terms when it's beneficial to them or when it fits their narrative, that was assault. She, to me, did that because she knew that he wasn't going to do anything to her. Like, she made a conscious effort to embarrass him and hit him for everyone to see. That's exactly what she did. If you guys saw something different, respectfully let me know. I know what I watched. Women should not be putting their hands or throwing things at men and putting their hands on men, just like men shouldn't. We like to say men shouldn't hit women. Women shouldn't be hitting men either. I want to know why production didn't step in. And because she was completely out of order. Production did not step in. I think that's problematic. And I think they wanted this shot. They wanted all this drama. Why didn't production step in when she took those 2 apples and hit him upside the head with both of them intentionally? Basically made an announcement before she did it because she had an audience. Why didn't production step in? You out of order, Tahiri. Totally out of order for that. And I don't think that she should get away with that type of behavior either. I don't care if it was an apple. I wouldn't give a damn if it was a paperclip. It's assault, period. And then as she's walking off, because she thinks it's cute, you know, this is what she's saying. You poked the bear. Word? Did he poke the bear, Tahiri? She was able to not participate in the, or she chose not to participate in the zapping of the, you know, the little drill or whatever. She was doing a lot. She hit him with an apple and then told him he poked the bear. And then she's clowning him, saying, go make some applesauce. Go make a rap about applesauce. Laughing. Now, I know a lot of women find that this behavior is cute. It's not. In my opinion, it's not cute at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm all for you expressing yourself. You know, you're angry, you vent to your spouse or your friends or your loved ones, whosoever. But see, when you put your hands on somebody or you hit somebody with something, let me speak for myself. When you put your hands on me or throw something that makes, you know, that connects with my dome piece or anywhere else on my body, ain't no rules after that. And I am not saying that that should have been the case with Vado, because I'm going to get Vado together too. But we can go back and forth verbally. Keep your hands and objects to yourself. She's dead wrong for that. And like I said, production should have stepped in. Why didn't she get reprimanded? So Dr. Ish calls all the couples to the living room. And Tahiri, she's talking like, you know, nothing happened. They're going around. Each couple is like, oh, can you figure out what was on your list? Yada, yada. So let's get to Tahiri and Vado. And Tahiri is talking like nothing just transpired less than 2 minutes ago. And you can see that she has this face, her body language is as if she's sort of amused by what she did. Vado is sitting there the entire time pissed off. He's not even engaging in group. He's looking down at the floor. He's looking like staring off. He looked like he wanted to cry. Remember, I'm going to get Vado together. Relax. Because I know you're like, it don't matter. He shouldn't have. It's easy for y'all to say when you see it on TV. But right is right and wrong is wrong, as Miss Ryby would say. I still don't understand how come production didn't step in when Tahiri hit that man with 2 apples. Anyway. So this is, again, like I said, this is when the couples, you know, they find out why they were being zapped and what was on the list. So Dr. Ish asks if they figured out, you know, what was on their list. Vado ain't saying nothing. So it comes to Tahiri's turn, right? Dr. Ish was actually talking to Vado and Tahiri, and Vado is just like spaced out. He's like looking, he looks hurt, look like he about to cry. He just don't look like he's engaging. And another thing, why didn't Dr. Ish point that out? Dr. Ish, you don't see that? You can read everybody else's body language when it's convenient. You didn't see that there was an issue? So at first, no one is saying anything, and then Tahiri, because Vado's not saying nothing. Tahiri says, I think he was trying to entice me to become that person I don't want to be anymore. This is what Tahiri said. When I saw and heard that, my mouth dropped. And I could not believe that she sat up there and told that straight up lie. That's not what I saw, honey. Maybe she's referring to the edited version, but no accountability. Yo, you just hit that man with 2 apples. What justified that? Nothing. You can't justify that, ma. Vado was looking up, he looked at her, and then he jumped up and grabbed her shirt while he was standing over her. Dr. Ish quickly stepped in. He jumped in, and he told Vado, no, 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 and he removed him from the scene, right? Dr. Ish has said before, there will be no physical violence in the house. So I want to know, is Tahiri going to be leaving too? Because I'm pretty sure they're going to ask Vado to leave. I figure that. You know, a lot of people were saying like, oh, you know, no one else jumped up when Vado jumped up or whatever. And I get it. I mean, I kind of thought that was interesting. You know, no one jumped up and said anything, but they probably were all shocked, I guess. I don't know. You know, you don't know people's reaction time. Vado, sir, you know who and what you are in a relationship with. Right? He himself said in this very same episode that Tahiri pushes to get a reaction out of him. So much so that Tony and Devon had to tell you, don't let her get you, you know, to that point. Just ignore it. I think when she hit him with the apples, he should have either not attended that meeting or he should have sat far away from her, because it's not acceptable. Just like Tahiri's actions are not acceptable, Vado's actions are not acceptable. Regardless, I understand some people, well, you know, if you don't want people to put their hands on you, don't put your hands on anyone. I agree with that 100%. But again, just like Tahiri's behavior, Vado's, yours was not acceptable either. Both of them were wrong for their actions. Both of them. No one was more wrong than the other. No, both of them were equally wrong. Vado, if you knew, you might not have known that you were going to do that at that point. But whether you did or you didn't, if you were that pissed off, you should have removed yourself from group. You should have removed yourself from group. You should have removed yourself from the situation. You should have said, nah, I'm not going to group right now. You know, maybe he didn't want to rock the boat. Maybe the production told him he had to participate. But no, it would have been like, look, I'm pissed off right now, and I don't want to say or do anything that could hurt me or anyone else. I'm not doing this. And then Dr. Ish would have been forced to find out why and what happened. You are in control of your responses. Everybody gets angry. They say and they do things in the heat of a moment. I get all of that. I get all of that. But just like Tahiri should have taken responsibility or should have been mature about the situation when picking up 2 apples and making the announcement before she hurled them and hit Vado, you should have taken responsibility and removed yourself from what it was that angered you and what it is that set you off. You ain't on the street, my dude. Same thing goes for Tahiri. You ain't on the street. You in this boot camp house to, quote, get help. Point blank, period. I think if Vado has to leave, Tahiri should go too. And I said what I said. She is aggressive and she loves to be confrontational. And it's funny to her. See, that's the part I don't like. This is funny to her. After Dr. Ish, walked Vado away, her face, I don't know if they caught the wrong moment or whatever, but she just looked like, And a lot of people were saying, wow, it's sad that she's so used to it, that it's sad. Yeah, it is sad on her part and anybody that has done anything to her as well. I will say this again for those who will only hear what they want to hear. Both Tahiri and Vado were wrong. But we already know that society is going to crucify Vado because Tahiri is a woman. We know that already. Whether we like it or not, it is what it is. Men should not put their hands on women, and women should not put their hands on or throw objects at men. It goes both ways. I appreciate you for listening to my review for Marriage Bootcamp. I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed the commentary. Drop your comments. I know this is going to be a doozy, but that's okay. Just as long as you don't put any profanity or derogatory terms in my chat, have at it. I said what I said. I'm signing off for now. Until next time. Peace.